Hello everyone. In this video, I'll try to explain for you different types of research gaps. The first one is evidence gap. Evidence gap means when we face a lack of data or when contradictory findings exist in the existing evidences. We call it evidence gap. No clear ideas. We have no clear ideas regarding a particular topic. So this we call it evidence gap. The second one is knowledge gap. And this means that knowledge exists. Knowledge is already there. But that knowledge not applied to new context. For example, knowledge exists in healthcare sector, but may not be applied to cybersecurity or agricultural sector or business sector. That means flexible, make it into no, applied into a new context. So if that concept is not there, we call it knowledge gap. The existing knowledge not applied in a new context. This is what we call it knowledge gap. The third one is methodological gap. Methodological gap means maybe existing method in the reviewed literature may be limited methods exist or outdated or biased. If the existing method is biased, outdated, or limited, we call it is a methodological gap. We may propose new methods. We may propose new methods. So this is what we call it methodological gap. It is lack of in tools and the techniques. Some researcher may use outdated techniques. The latest they may not apply new techniques, advanced new latest version techniques in their research. So this is what you call it methodological gap. The fourth one is population gap. Population gap means the research done only on specific demographic areas. Maybe some research considers academic stuffs. It may not consider administrative stuff. Some research may be applied in Europe, but may not be applied in Ethiopia or in other Africa countries. So demographics are different. Demographics are there. So we may address those unaddressed issues, not included issues. We may consider. Some researcher may focus on male employees only, may not consider female employees, like that. This is what we call it population gap. So population gap means research done only specific demographic, leaving others out. For example, some may work on diabetic one, while diabetic 2 is overlooked. So you have to consider. That gap. This is what we call it population gap. The fifth one is empirical gap. Empirical gap means studies exist. There are so many studies exist, but results are fighting each other. This means that study A says X, while study Y says Y. So study A remote work may say remote work increases productivity, while study B says remote work decreases productivity. So you have to balance this contradiction. In your study, you have to prove this contradiction. To which researcher your new findings belongs? Is it neutral or it belongs to another researcher? So some contradiction among researchers. So to prove that, to balance those, especially for PhD students, empirical gap is very important. Finding an argument, contradictory findings is very, very critical in PhD research. So you have to prove or disprove those researcher ideas through experimental, empirically. We can disprove it. So empirical gap means studies exist, but the results are fighting each other. Researcher A say Y, researcher B says X, like that. Some contradiction we have to prove. The sixth gap is practical knowledge gap. There are maybe plenty of theory exists in that research area. Most of researchers are done in theory, but not practically applied. Not practically applied in real world setting. That we call it practical knowledge gap. No, it is not applied research, I mean. It is in theory. That research is focus on theoretical part, not practically validated. If that is the case, what we call it practical knowledge gap. So there are 6 types of research gap: evidence gap, knowledge gap, methodological gap, population gap, empirical gap, and practical knowledge gap. If you like it, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.